Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Nothing up my sleeve. Robbie the Butcher.
The Butcher. Hey, good morning, Bangkok. Good morning, Mike's in Bangkok.
Nothing up my sleeve. Go ahead. Sorry, what? What did I just do?
Oh,
Oh my
there
God.
you go. Good
Hey,
morning, Bangkok.
Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Nothing up my sleeve. Robbie the Butcher. Okay.
We're screwed.
Now I'm back and normal. Well, I'm normal, right?
You are normal.
Greetings and aloha. What's going on? It's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com. Thank you guys for coming by.
Yep. And Robbie from Walking in My Shoes, Thailand.
Yes. But just so you know, obviously, we're the spot. Together, we are the spot. We have found your spot. This is the spot.
Boom.
This is the spot. This is G spot. And we have a very, very cool, important thing to let you guys know about. That is Robbie's nickname, which, of course, is Robbie the Butcher. And Robbie the Butcher is Robbie the Butcher because if you've ever heard him pronounce any Thai words other than kitty, he butchers them. Yeah,
I do. I don't butcher kitty.
You probably
I just did it again.
You should probably no, definitely. That was. Oh, look at this, we're already getting judgment from the employees of the team. Sad.
Oh, who's giving us judgment?
Dr. Atkins from the Atkins diet, from the long line of Atkins.
I love it. It's Christy. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Glad to see you.
Look at that. Germany checking in via Kuala Lumpur. Mariano, good to see you, buddy. Sorry, cop.
Sawadee Cup.
And I hope she's laughing with us and not at us, or I may have to pummel her. I will pummel her.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Christy, I work with Christy on a daily basis, and thank you, Christy. She's an awesome fan, an awesome supporter, and she knows, like everybody else knows, man, I butcher the crap out of words. So there you go. So I can be corrected.
I'm kind of surprised then that the whole Robbie the Butcher thing has never come up. Or did it in a previous life, like when you were in the joint, when you used to use your shiv?
That, you know what? Maybe in my previous
Robbie the Butcher.
I don't know.
Yeah, there we go. Doctor, how you doing? We got a buddy who's from longtime viewer from Hawaii, finally over here, now in Cha'am, gonna be back in Bangkok. So we'll have to definitely catch up with him. And yeah, so we got a bunch to talk about today, dude. A bunch.
We do. And we got a special treat. We're hoping that's going to happen in a little bit. And I don't know, are we going to try and get Kitty live online? So
well,
we're hoping.
Don't spoil that surprise. Way to just lob that right over the net. We're not even 3 minutes in and you're already throwing gold at the audience.
Good job. Keep you guys staying tuned. So make sure you stay tuned through the whole show because I don't know when she's coming on. She just got out of the shower.
In the last 30 seconds. Well, we could do full motion video with her on that. That would be probably.
That's it, guys. That's it. So again, good morning. Aloha. I love it. Love it. Purpose of this show is for you guys who want to be expats, learn more about Thailand, learn more about my journey to becoming an expat and living there in Thailand full time. I'm actually currently in California, Pismo Beach, and Mike is in.
Oh, I'm in the Bangkok, baby. I put the cock back in and wait, what?
No, you put the bang in the cock? Or?
I put the bang actually in Bangkok, yeah. Because of, oh my God, I just totally spaced on this. You know what I had the other day is Pop Rocks. And you want to talk about, as you should, and you want to talk about like putting the bang in Bangkok. Why don't they sell Pop Rocks at 7-Eleven? This has been a major marketing loss for the entire country. Don't give me this whole, there's no tourists nonsense. You put some Pop Rocks in fucking 7-Eleven, your profit's going to skyrocket.
Yeah, I know. What the heck is today?
Let's
see here. Somebody lost 2 subs today.
I know. I saw that. Subs. Big guys 45s, dude. I am like not. Whoops. Okay, sorry. So just so you know, both of us can control the broadcast, which if you know anything about me, you know how tough that was to give up control of the remote to my partner. But yeah, 2 sub. You know what's funny is I do know where this finger's been. And I actually still, think that it's a viable device for many things, actually. So let's talk a little bit about your current journey, your status. Oh, MetTech, congrats, buddy. So this guy has probably, I'm going to throw out there like 25 vehicles. And
25 vehicles, like trucks.
And the reason I bring this up now is that you and I have gone through the process of having stuff, right?
Yes.
BMW. I had a ridiculous Acura. And it was, how could I possibly ever get, oh, sure, I'll downsize my house, but I'm not getting rid of my friggin' German motor car.
Yeah.
No, of course not, right? And so he's going through that too. He's getting through some of his stuff because his plan, October, he's going to be over here, and I think permanently at some point like that, like you are, right? And so if you guys can't read, which I know that's tough for many people, 50 days until Thailand for Robbie. In 50 days from today, Robbie lands in the boom. He's going to Suvarna.boom and begins basically the next chapter of his life. And
That's
so,
right.
like MetTech, you're going through, everything, right? You're going through everything, and you're like, you're throwing away, and you're just saying, this is not happening. 2 a.m. check-in. What are you talking about? Dude, you're in friggin' Australia.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. up top. Skadoosh. There we go. See, now every time I like hi something I feel like I'm going to just get judged by Christy. It's not making me feel too good. I'm not making me judge me.
So 50 days left, and as a lot of you guys know, if you've been tuning in for the last 6 shows, this is show number 7. And then when we come there, we're going to be doing some changes with some fun name stuff. But over the past 6 shows, we've talked about my journey, talked about my coaching, which has been so helpful. If you guys aren't here yet and you need help, be sure to connect with this guy, send him an email, message, whatever, Mike's. And he has don't you have a program for helping people come over or talking with him or coaching?
Indeed I do, and gratefully, actually some people have been, I got a message just this morning, because jet lag, right? So I got a message this morning, it was like 2:33, I couldn't sleep. This one guy asked me, he goes, so can I buy a not decent, he said, is it possible for me to buy an apartment for $5,000 US, right? And again, it's possible. It's not real probable. And again, you're going to live up country. But the reason I bring that up is that the amount of questions that we get are, there's the top 20. Visa, flight, what do I do before I leave? What are the stuff that I need to make sure that I still have back there just in case? Because, you're going to come over here and you're going to be like, oh, I got to log into Wells Fargo. Spoiler alert, if you don't have SMS on a U.S. phone number, you're kind of out of luck sometimes, because they're going to be like, oh, you've never logged in before, but we've just sent you an SMS. Just type in 6 digits, that kind of thing. So there's all that sort of stuff that Robbie and I are going through. We're going through with him, and I'm going through with other guys. And it's been I've got to tell you, here's the most rewarding part, is when I'm over here and a guy who's been watching me for a while gets his ass over here. It really stays for more than a couple weeks, right? And sends me a message. Right. And that's how Robbie and I basically started dating. He's like, dude, let's meet up. And we had bagels. And I'm thinking, okay, I've never met this guy. His videos are kind of cool. He's cruising around Thailand. He's living the dream. And we go and we sat down. Literally, we closed the place basically for this morning breakfast. We talked for 4 hours. And, and I say that because most of the guys that have reached out to me, I'm just so honored when you guys do come over here. And we can begin this relationship, and then hopefully you can pass it on like he's already doing with his buddy Brian. He's already coaching his buddy Brian on that career. And
so where am I at in the process?
Yeah.
So you mentioned the BMWs, cars, and then again, for those who are watching, this is really a great process, and I wish this show had existed so I could have done it. It just makes me do more as we're filming and taping and all that kind of stuff. So I did sell my BMW to come over here. It was one of the plans. I had a lease, a business lease. So a little bit of background. I own a business, have employees, have a home. I've had to completely downsize, change my business plan. And one of those steps was in between my last trip to offload my BMW. And this becomes pretty darn serious for sure, guys.
It's serious when you have a guy in California who's willing to get rid of his BMW. But I mean,
new
there's the
BMW.
truth, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's a pretty nice new BMW that's now no longer in my hands, and I bought a van.
And it's like one of these Ford. It's like a little mail truck or something, right?
Right. So basically, I bought a van. It's a Ford. I don't remember. It's a smaller van that has a bed in it. We call it the shaggin' wagon. So it's my van.
Do you have
that
one of those
has
bumper stickers that says if the vans are rocking, don't come a knocking?
it says Ford Folia. So if you guys know what a West Folia is from VW, a Ford Folia is the same thing.
Yeah.
Westphalia. Sorry, I forgot what I said. Ford Folia.
I need a Robbie the Butcher. I got to make one of those right after the show.
We got to do it.
Robbie the Butcher.
So sold my BMW, bought this van, and from now until I am over there in 50 days, if you guys look above right here, the next step is going to be working on my business plan, and where I can exit my apartment will be the next step. Big step. That's a big one.
So what do you mean by that? I mean, you live in like a house in Pismo, like right on the beach, or I don't know exactly. Tell us a little bit.
So I live in a flat. So a flat is still an apartment. It's the same thing, except you don't share a common wall. You share a common building, if that makes sense. But there's no connecting wall to a neighbor. Okay. And it's typically flats are like in New York or whatever. They're upstairs. They're the whole floor essentially.
Right.
Even though I'm not the whole floor, I'm in a 1,000 or 11 square foot apartment in Pismo Beach with a cheesy ocean view. In other words, it's not great, guys. It's not like I have in You
see the Pacific.
Yeah, I can see the Pacific from my bedroom. But I walk out my house, walk down the beach. It's beautiful. But so part of the plan is when I go to give up my apartment or my residence, where do I live? Where do I go? Because I will have to come back to do some business transactions here.
Right.
For sure. So my backup is my living in a van.
Your Ford Fellatio? So what?
Yeah, that's it. My Ford Fellatio.
Ford Fellatio. Yeah, Christy, make sure you guys start talking about it that way in the office.
Oh, she's going to love that, by the way. I think.
Score. Being able to double click on that word. Yeah. Okay, so but what do you mean? In other words, I understand what you mean by like getting rid of stuff, but like, I mean, the last night I slept in San Diego, I slept in my house, and then the next day it wasn't. It was, turned over basically. So, I mean, are you gonna like have a sort of a temporary living situation in?
So, yeah, what I've done is I did live by myself for quite a while. I took in a roommate because I'm only going to be here 6 months, and my roommate's here. So the overall plan is to be out 2023 for good. And I have to, between that time now and that time, I need to figure out a residence. And it's going to be a question for a lot of viewers who want to expat over. Residence for me, I have to have a USA address for my business.
Yes.
I need to have that, and I'm still in the process of how I'm going to do that. So I'm looking at different business properties where I can have my business and my resident on the same address.
Yep.
So whether I lease, buy, borrow, steal, whatever, so I can make that happen.
Wise move.
So my goal, you guys, is ever since 2019, and then, when I made the decision, I want to live in Thailand permanently, live my best life. Since I made that decision, everything I do now is really wrapped around that. And I don't know what I'm doing. That's why I have people like Mike and other friends and Kitty helping me out and just guiding me. And I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Berber.
That's it.
Okay, so let me ask you then, because same thing. I have a physical address for my business in Florida. And then we have our family home, basically, just south of Boston. And that's where Gracie and I were for the last 3 months. And that's pretty much like my U.S. address. It's my personal U.S. tax address, right? So that's where the IRS believes that I hang out and where I pay taxes based on that. Obviously, as many of you will understand, why I have the Florida address, because of the tax benefit that is possible. But to be fair, I mean, my personal income tax in Massachusetts is 5%, right? And my parents still live there. And so I'm more than willing to pay them 5% of my top line, with minus deductions effectively, so I guess my bottom line, so that my parents can dial 911 and like a car, a actual ambulance shows up in the driveway less than 5 minutes later because of where we live. So I'm more than willing to pay 5% of my wealth, quite frankly, so that they can use that service. So I'm not too worried about it, but I do understand, especially if you're from California, it's high taxes. To be able to say, look, this is ridiculous. Let me just get a place. Like, let me get a place in Las Vegas or something like that. Nevada, no personal income tax. Florida, Dakota. I think one of the Dakotas. I can't remember which one. Texas. So, but when you're coming over here, what is the date? Excuse me. What is the date in your mind where it's like, okay, like I'm leaving? Like I'm going to have like an address and maybe a virtual phone number and stuff for the US. But like after that date, I'm not planning on going back home other than to like visit folks. Like, do you have a date for that?
I actually do. I'm assuming I'll have everything 100% set up. And it's been this goal since the beginning, which is 2023.
Right.
November is my drop down date.
So okay, so I'm sorry. So I know November of this year, i.e., 50 days from now.
Yeah,
you're cruising back and you're going to do some stuff. So I didn't. So November 2023. That's the. I'm done.
I'm done. And if I can do it sooner, I will.
Okay,
but I have a 10-year plan, and I altered it in 2019, 2020 when I knew I wasn't going to be here. And thanks to people like my assistant, Christy, and other friends of mine helping me talk this through and really figure out what I'm going to do. My drop dead date is my 10-year. 10 years is basically when I started my business 10 years ago.
Your date of freedom. Okay, so you started your business and you're like, okay, today I'm starting, today I'm incorporating, whatever. 10 years from today, I'm going to be in Thailand, or I'm going to be elsewhere?
So basically I started my 10-year goal 10 years ago when I opened my business in September 2013. And part of that goal was to make X amount of income and have this wonderful life here in the USA. Well, guys, things change. Yes. So 2019, I am hitting the financial goals, which is going to be great. I'm on my 11th hour, so I've been in business for 9 years and 1 month right now, or 9 years and 2 weeks.
Congrats, dude. Right on.
Yeah, thank you. So we're 9 years old, and we've done big birthday parties every year except this year. Anyways, with next year really having to change my business plan so I can exit 100% and be there in Bangkok holding hands with you, Mike.
I just can't wait. I mean, 6 of 1, really.
That's it.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, again, there's a lot of channels like, okay, this is how you move to Thailand. This is how to think. But none of them are like, no. This is like just how I kind of altered my plan. And I think that's a really good topic because people are like, okay, so for example, I fly. So it was like 3 years since I last saw my folks. October 2019, I fly home and I say, hey, so I'm quitting my job and I'm moving to Thailand.
Right.
Now, again, that wasn't like because they're like, okay, well, you've been traveling there for 7 years. And like in the last year, you've been there 4 times. And you're nuts enough to go over there. I mean, I've been to Bangkok for long weekends, for Christ's sake, So it's like, I know this is my place. So this wasn't a huge shock to them. The whole quitting my job thing, that would have been a weird thing to hear, from your parents. Don't necessarily want to hear that from your son, especially if they show up and say, by the way, I'm living in the basement. But, they were also very educated based on my constant banter, one could argue, telling them like what it costs to live over here. Right. So they were like, I mean, if I say, like Southern California, it's like, okay, well, I got $3 million in the bank. And they're like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, I guess you could retire. You couldn't necessarily live maybe in Pismo or down, you could maybe not live in, retire at 50, if $3 million in the bank, in Coronado. No. Yeah, maybe not.
Drive a BMW. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
That's the thing, right? And so it's like, all right, but if you had like $1 million, like, could you retire and live in Phoenix, maybe like one of the outskirts? Like, yeah, okay, maybe. Okay, well, if the cost of living in Thailand, for the sake of argument, let's just say it's half that. And if you got that in the bank, then it's like, okay, And so, I mean, it wasn't much of a shock. And then I was on like my third or fourth different kind of visa. I was on my seventh or eighth different insurance policy. Gracie and I had been together 4 or 5 years. So it wasn't this crazy thing. And much like you're like, look, dude, I've been talking about like closing my bit, not, but in air quotes, let's say, ending the way my business is done right now.
That's right.
Since 2013, and that's been the mountaintop, right? And then transition into someone else, have someone else run it, that sort of thing, or sell the whole thing. And I think a lot of guys kind of, they're like, so Roger, right? Our buddy Roger, he lives in your building. He's been watching the channel for years. And he was like, no, I'm going to do my work in my job for the company. And then I'm going to retire. And then I'm going to do the next step. A lot of guys will do that. They're like, oh my God, I can't wait to live there. But I'm 62. So I'm going to wait till I'm 65 and a half or whatever I'm going to do.
Right.
Going to get my pension. Right. And then I'm going to like kind of move over there. And there's some guys that like go to that YouTuber hangout, for example, that were in that, that scenario. So,
and it's never too early and never too late. So guys like Roger, who waited a little bit later, and someone like me who is honestly retiring quite a bit earlier than expected at 52 years old. Retiring for me is going to look different, right? Because I'm not getting a full pension. I'm a business owner. I have to really manipulate my financial goals to reach this freedom to be in Thailand. And I can't. And that's beautiful about it.
So, and it's just, you and I have also talked about, basically you start redefining words when you decide, okay, on the other side of the earth is where I'm going to live, different culture, all of this stuff, right? And the word retirement, right? Like, I mean, you and I grew up, we were about the same age. I think you're like 2 years younger than me, maybe. I'm 54. How old are you, 52?
51. I'll be 52 in a month.
Dude, in October or November?
October, buddy.
Oh, dude, Rocktober. There we go. I think it's time for an H5. Let's double click on that. Kadoosh. And we retire. It's not Gold Watch and like Florida and like live at Del Boca Vista and like wear like really baggy old shorts. You and I are already talking. I mean, we're doing this right now because this is our next business. Effectively, we're coming out of retirement. A lot of people would, label it, right? Because we're doing our next thing. Because I think, that's the neat thing about sort of retiring. Is you're like, okay, well, I mean, I could stare at my foot for a while, but after about a month, starting to get a little itchy. It's like, I want to produce something. I want to make something. I want to get a team together, and actually make a difference, ideally, positively. Now, one of the things that I'm going to touch on actually is, coming in here like 2 days ago, basically. And what it's like and that sort of thing. But I do want to touch on one thing that Rick Smith, and Rick, thank you for watching. I know you've been watching for years. I really appreciate it. Retirement visa in Thailand. You bring that up. Rick, I believe you are a U.S. citizen, or at least you're in the United States. And my biggest thing, I mean, we could talk about this in depth if you want to like shoot me an email, livemyassoff@gmail.com or whatever. But I highly encourage you to not wait till you get to Thailand to get your retirement visa. Do it in the United States. And I can go into more detail about why but at the end of the day, it's because then you can get a 2-year retirement visa. And I know let's put that in air quotes for now. But the point is that you get a lot more benefit. There's a lot more there's a lot more digestible requirements. So anyway, I will just say that, but and then you don't need an immigration attorney over here to go through the conversion, if you will, of what you might use, because coming over here visa exempt and then deciding that you want a visa, that's possible, okay, but it's a hell of a lot easier, totally possible, and many people do it, and many people do exactly what you typed in because they don't want to do what they want to. But if you don't want to put any money in a Thai bank account, because you're already talking about an immigration attorney, so you're not talking about Steve down the street that's like basically for 60,000 baht, he's going to pay his friend to basically say, oh, yeah. Rick has 600,000 baht in a bank account. Here's the receipt. And then, 25 minutes later, that money's gone. removed from it because it wasn't yours to begin with. But if you want to do it really, and you really want to have a visa that, you're not going to have to worry about, if you're not going to have to, when you want to be able to sleep at night, I highly encourage you to ping me on that. So I came in 2 days ago. Gracie and I got here. We landed. We landed at like 11:45, and then midnight hits, and so we basically stamped in on September 15th. We came through the priority lane because of my APEC card, which shortened the line a little bit. Our bags.
And this is because you just to reiterate, because I know where you're going with this, Mike. This is because you have your visa. You did it in the United States, right? This is all related to that.
No, this. You mean the APEC card?
Yes.
No,
so you did everything in the United States before coming over.
The did everything in the United States thing involves the discussion I've had before about signing up for global entry.
Global entry, that was it.
Yeah, through their trusted travel program. And I'll throw a link up in the chat right now that will go to everybody. And it's basically because the trusted traveler program in the United States is through the Department of Homeland Security. And so that is where you will basically apply. Once you get your global entry status, you'll also get a physical card, which you don't really use. But once you get your is good to, oh, are you talking to me? My mic is good to go here?
Yes. You're not
Thank
supposed to share that message.
I appreciate it. 26 minutes in. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did someone say something?
Yes, somebody did say something in the chat that your mic wasn't good to go.
Oh my God.
If you guys have issue with any of our mics, definitely please go ahead and send us a message. I really appreciate you guys letting us know if you can't hear something.
And you guys know how much that bothers me. I mean, that would just absolutely ruin me if my mic wasn't good. Especially if I don't have warm mids like right now. But
I'm curious, am I cracking? Because Mike is cracking, I guess.
I'm cracking. Is that am I overmodulating, Mark? Oh, cracking. Am I overmodding, dude? I'm at 100%. I got to make sure I got automatic gain control turned on, as I should. But I mean, without that. Anyway, I got auto gain control on. I sound friggin' amazing, Mariano. Friggin' Germans, man. They're just like, oh, no. It's not perfect. We got to do it this way. Fine.
I like the Germans. That's why I love BMW cars, man. Best car ever.
Completely agree. Actually, Rolls-Royce makes a damn good car too. But anyway,
ultimate driving machine.
Do you know who owns a Rolls-Royce?
I don't know.
BMW.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Anyway, there are things that I highly recommend you do before you leave there, and that's get the global entry thing if you plan on coming back to the U.S. at least once a year, maybe even if not. But if you hate waiting in lines, is the short answer. Inside of the Trusted Traveler Program, once you get global entry, you can then sign up for APEC, which is the Asia Pacific Economic. I always forget what the C is, and I'm going to Google that right now so I don't sound completely lame.
But just to answer those questions while Mike's Googling, if you look at our last show, the last two shows, you actually do talk about the global entry, and I think you go into some good detail. So be sure to tune into that last show to get more details about that for sure.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to talk about every single show, right? But at the end of the day, the other reason this is relevant is because so there's a bunch of countries that are in APEC, which is the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. If I were to put, I would have put community, but at the end of the day, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, which means a bunch of countries that are in Asia Pacific. Every single year, one of those countries, and actually like Thailand, Philippines, founding members, they host like the APEC meetings, right? And those are actually happening, believe it or not, like yesterday, 2 days ago. They also happened in May. They also happened in March. And they're talking about, like agro-tourism and green tourism and sustainable tourism. That's sort of the big thing here. Tourism after COVID. That's sort of the big topics. But because all those countries are sort of like together in trying to find a solution for over here, then they give you certain privileges. And the final thing I'll say is the APEC BTC, the APEC Business Travel Card, allows you to get in and out of Thailand, even without a visa. You can stamp in for 90 days. The average person of the APEC can do this without having a visa. If you have a visa, it limits your flexibility. But at the end of the day, you come in. And the problem and the beauty is that you go through the priority lane. So that's all I'll say about
which is
that.
Nice.
It is.
I think that's nice because traffic, guys, people are coming. So, Mike, can you tell us real quick, just because I know there might be guys on here who are watching who are getting ready to travel right now. What was the airport like in immigration land coming into Bangkok? Was there a huge long line? I mean, just simple
Yeah.
answer. Is it
No.
crazy right now? Or because I know
So
for me, it was nothing.
yeah, so great question. So yeah, so it was effectively nothing. I will say that it was a
Oh,
non-event. I will also say that the
okay.
customer service was nice in the sense that like because you know how there's like multiple. You even talked about this. You have your preferred immigration aisle, right? And you go far down, and the cool thing is you're coming up. You know how there's like the ramp, right? The ramp that always sort of goes up to immigration. You know where they have all the lanes. So you can look up there and you're like, okay, like how many people? How big's the line? They were directing people to the next one, even when that one wasn't full yet. So they were really spacing people out. They were very courteous and stuff. And I said, oh yeah, I'm going to go up here. And they're like, oh, because it's a sign that says crew, right? And so obviously I'm not dressed like a friggin' flight attendant, even though I do love the short skirts that the Japanese wear.
On
And I said,
ANA
oh no
or
no, I'm
JL?
Jal. Oh dude, yeah,
Yeah.
ANA is pretty high
Yeah.
quality too, but Jal was what great
Yeah. Those
customer
are.
service. So I just showed her my APEC card. She goes, "Oh yeah, APEC, right?" But I could look up there, and they were making sure that like the lines weren't that long. So that was good. The final thing I will say, as far as like short answer, is there is no more TM6, which for the average person means
Oh.
there's no more departure card, which is what we call it, or arrival that you hand in, but arrival/departure card. You no longer need to fill those out. You will no longer need to fill those out. And so that's a pretty nice little feature because a lot of people lose that little thing that they get in their passport if they're only there for 2 or 3 weeks and they're engaging in debauchery that doesn't involve making sure your passport has 100%, safety during the whole thing. So yeah, but it was very easy, dude. And again, we flew in at like 12:30, and you're like, oh yeah, sure, middle of the night, 1 a.m. It's going to be no. There's a bunch of it's a 24-hour airport, dude.
Yeah.
There's plenty of planes that land at 1 in the morning as well as 1 in the afternoon. And so that was, it was very encouraging. Additionally, if you've used Grab in like the last 2 to 3, if you've used Grab before COVID, your experience with Grab at the airport now is infinitely better. There is none of this BS like, oh, I can't park here because the taxis aren't. No. They have an absolute designed place where they pick you up right there at gate.
Very good job.
Gate 4. You basically go out. You go right across like the main street and you're on the island there and they're all waiting. There's none of this like, oh my God, I got 2 seconds to wait. This guy was incredibly gracious. And
they've kept the pricing the same, I noticed too. So it's
pricing
just metered.
very reasonable. Yeah.
Very reasonable. So let's answer this question.
Totally.
Here we go. I think of buying a condo in BKK just to keep a base. Not a bad idea. Not to speculate on it, but just to diversify a tad a bit.
Robbie the Butcher.
USA, and sometimes, as an early retiree. So that's essentially what I did in Jomtien. So I have a
let's be clear, you didn't purchase it.
Jomtien. I did not purchase it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm not against purchasing, but I'm against purchasing. In other words, in Thailand.
Put it this way, Ruby. Is it Rumpol? Is that an L or an I? Rumpy? Regardless. RB. I apologize for butchering your name, Mike the Butcher. If
there
you're coming
you go,
from
Mike the Butcher.
Mike the Butcher. If you guys are coming from the U.S. and you're in your mind, you're thinking, well, real estate, of course, everywhere else is exactly like the U.S., meaning I can guarantee appreciation over 10 years. False. No. If you buy a brand new condo in Bangkok right now, then that's, you're going to get a decent property. 5 years from now, when that unit is 5 years old and everyone else around you has a brand new condo, you are not necessarily going to have an appreciation. So just, realize that there are absolutely good times in the market, right? But yeah, there's a possibility that it'll go up, but it's not going to have the appreciation that you might be used to in Thailand, in the United States. Additionally, if you follow the model of I'm going to buy this house, my mortgage payment will be X, and I will just charge that amount per month as the rent, and therefore I can at least break even. That doesn't occur here. I mean, there are 3 million baht condos, and you're only paying $300 a month for. Okay. So that's basically $100,000, right? $100,000 US for a condo that you're paying $300 a month for to rent.
Yes.
So therefore, I mean, unless you get like a 75-year mortgage, your payment on $100,000 is going to be more than $300 a month. So the point is that it is speculative. I agree. I would encourage you to look at the rental cost and do the math if you're just going to have a base in Bangkok, which is exactly what Gracie and I did when we first moved here.
That's what I did.
And what you're right, because you like got your place, and then 3 weeks later you're like, all right, kitty, see ya. I'll be back soon. Because it's so damn reasonable too. It's not this financial distraction. It's like, oh Christ, I got this mortgage or I got this pay. It's like, $400 a month.
Yep.
And then you come back and you're basically home. So yeah, I would agree. Oh, and so thank you, Joe, for putting that up there. I appreciate it. Everyone click on that. Additionally, until we get 100 subscribers, we're at 11 right now, and I'm pretty psyched to get 100 today. So thank you very much in advance for subscribing, everybody. But youtube.thespot.fm, that will get you there until we get our vanity URL. But did he ask another question about the?
Yes. So let me put it up. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen so everybody can read it. And there you go, Mike. It's like, I would like to buy one in a good area of Bangkok. So definitely let's answer that question. What is a good area and what isn't? And they seem to hold value, but I'm not looking to make money on it. Which I'm going to do my answer because it's going to be short. Mike's going to have his. He's going to have a little more detail. So mine just right off the bat is I love Bangkok. I don't even like big cities. Yep. Love Bangkok. And totally. I see that in several videos on this broadcast in the past. I bought in Jomtien because I didn't buy. I long-term lease in Jomtien. Because of it's beautiful. I get a lot of money, a lot of big bang for my buck in a high-end area in Jomtien. I pay about $320 a month. So maybe a little bit more now. So I pay what, Mike, you help me out. That's 13,000 baht. What is that right now?
That's about 370.
370?
Okay. I'm at 12,000 baht, and I think with the current exchange rate, that's like 325, something like that, or maybe 340. But yeah, it's 350 bucks is the short answer.
What's a good area? Let's help our question person out. What's a good area?
First of all, I want to absolutely congratulate you. I know, and I'm not being flippant on clarifying that you're not looking to make money. Because that is something that people can, really get into. Again, you're clearly educated and aware of the way that the real estate works in other parts of the world. So that's awesome. And if you come over here with that realistic expectation, then you're not going to be disappointed, I would submit. Good areas. Okay. Well, good is relative, right? Like, what's a good car? What's a good radio station other than the Spot? None, except BKK.FM. Tell your friends. And if you don't know what that means,
of the earth, BKK.FM.
So that would be the best radio station, of course, to listen to. But the Spot is actually pretty close second. No, I'm just messing around. The thing is that Asok is absolutely good if you like the city center and you like the ease of speaking English to a lot of people, including like street vendors. You like big malls. And you don't really care that you're going to be waiting in line to get on the BTS train, for example, in the morning. The reason that Gracie and I live where we live is because it is far enough away from the city center, but still close enough so that we can get there in a short amount of time. But we can get on the train at 7 in the morning with our bags, and it's not a problem. And then we can go to the airport and we can fly somewhere else, because that was the lifestyle that we wanted to be able to engage in. BTS, airport rail link, MRT, get on those, get to an airport, be it Suvarnabhumi or Don Muang, and go to Da Nang for lunch, for God's sake. I mean, we wanted it to be like that easy.
Yes, and it is. And that's why I love BKK is, honestly, you don't need a car. You don't need a motor scooter. And it's absolutely incredible. I'm going to skip some questions because Joe just put something up here. And this is the reason why. He says, I am torn between BKK, Bangkok, and Koh Samui. And for me, I'm torn between the Pattaya and Bangkok because I love Bangkok that much. And Pattaya, I love the ocean. So,
but see, the thing, you don't need to be torn, because don't forget. I mean, dude, if you're a total cheapskate like me and you want to be able to get down to Pattaya in an air conditioned, I mean, it's used, it's secondhand bus, but it's a fine bus and it's air conditioned and it's incredibly reliable in less than 2 hours, and I can do it for basically $4. So I get down to Pattaya, or for, I don't know, 50, or less, I can get down there in a nice SUV or whatever, and it takes me about the same amount of time. But they'll drop me off right in front of my hotel. None of this, oh, hey, here's the bus station. Now go walking, dude, which I like to do. But that's not for everybody. And so you can get back and forth really easily.
Yeah. But you know, it's interesting. You say that between Bangkok and Pattaya, we have on here Koh Samui. So Koh Samui is absolutely gorgeous. And you guys, I only say that because I watch YouTube. I've never been to Koh Samui. So I'm torn between Bangkok, Pattaya, and then all of a sudden Koh Samui, which is a 45-minute, 1 hour flight or whatever it is from Pattaya, or I don't know if they fly from Pattaya. Anyways, so there you go. There's another destination. You've been to Koh Samui, yes?
Yeah, Gracie and I have been there twice, and we rented a house, actually, when we were down there. It was during COVID. It was amazing, and there's a lot of great areas. There's also totally overpopulated areas, and you could also throw Phuket into that, too. But, I mean, again, to be fair, it's like, well, what do you want to do? If you want to go to the beach every single day and you don't need, like, infrastructure necessarily, which, quite frankly, Koh Samui has a decent infrastructure, then that's the place for you. But if you don't like really big and you don't like super developed and you just want a beach, you want less people, well, then you just take a ferry basically 45 minutes north and you go to Koh Phangan, right? And then you can like wear yoga pants and Birkenstocks and go have, green tea all day long on the beach. And it's even cheaper to live there. So, I mean, it depends
well,
what
you
you
see
want.
right here. Yeah, Joe. So you see right here, the next comment was Hua Hin. I guess it's more Floridian.
It is more Floridian. I got to tell you, one of the reasons one of the reasons I dislike Hua Hin is it's as if you're in friggin' Florida. There's like old white couples that like to play golf. And I'm like, no, dude, I moved to Thailand to hang out with Thai people and eat Thai food on the beach. I don't want to go and like, no, it's just, forget it. That's not my jam, which is why I really like Cha Am. Because Cha Am is only about 3 hours from Bangkok. And because of that, actually, a lot of Thais will go there and vacation on the weekends. It's a wonderful Thai beach city. Here's my definition of living in a really nice Thai beach city. There are 7-Elevens, but pretty much all the signs are in Thai, not in English. And that is comforting.
No, that's not Pattaya.
It's not Pattaya, and it's not Jomtien. Jomtien and Pattaya are very much geared to Western foreigners, the Russians and Chinese. Yeah. And, and that's how they make their money. That's why they went bankrupt over friggin' COVID, because there was no tourists there, But I agree. If you dig the whole, I don't want to have to really want for anything, and I want to be able to live a life similar to what I could live in Florida, and it'd be a lot cheaper, then Hua Hin is a very good spot for that. And, again, one of the reasons it's so popular is because that's where the king had one of his houses. And so that became a very popular vacation spot years ago, so. What else we got? Coconut smoothie. There you go. That's very cool. Now, Rick mentioned your lease. Why don't you talk a little bit more about the lease thing you got? Because I know it's not a full year, right?
So, let's talk about that a little bit, because he asked another question. Let's see here.
Did he? Okay, I missed it. Sorry. Thank you for that, because I skip all over the place.
Let's just I'm skipping all over the place. We really want to get to your guys' questions and definitely ask questions about leases and visas and all that stuff. He says, so tell us more about your rental and then the long-term lease.
I just want to address this one quick one, because Roof Pizza, he's been on your channel for a long time, and I just want to say, I disagree with your label of it, big, smelly, overpriced city. I completely disagree. But if that's your opinion of it, then awesome. You know where not to go. So that's great. But it's not my experience. San Diego is an overpriced city, dude. That smells like pee. So
it does. And so is San Francisco. What's interesting about BKK, there are some bad areas that aren't smelling great. So I encourage Roof Pizza and some of the others, hey, go to, Siam Paragon area freaking blows my mind.
No,
it's totally like fourth world. I mean, like lots of money, very clean. Matter of fact, take a look at some of my videos and you'll see. But let me talk about this real quick here, Jomtien. So I went ahead and went through Facebook Marketplace and found a 10-month lease.
Oh,
kind of weird. So how the 10-month lease worked is I had to pay, of course, the first month, when you move in, you have to pay a last month and then a security deposit. So basically, to move in, you're paying 3 months of your rent or your whatever monies or agreement to the landlord. I was able to negotiate. She wanted 15,000 baht, and we said, look, we'll do 13. And that's how we kind of got in. And we went through Facebook Marketplace. I did review several agencies for the same building.
Okay.
And it was quite a bit more money if you went through an agency. However, an agency is the one who posted on Facebook Marketplace. So when I was shown that thing, and by the way, I didn't see it. Kitty was there. I was in California, and they shot video for me and pictures and did a little live thing for me, so I can make a decision, because I really was kind of picky. Because if I got to be there, I need to make sure I know where I'm sleeping.
Me too, dude. Yeah, same way.
Yeah, and originally, just to answer the question, originally they wanted 8,000 baht, but it was for a studio. And the studio was just a little bit too small. And Kitty's online there. Yay!
Indeed. Now let's be clear. You say too small because, again, it's with you and Kitty. It's not just you. Yeah. So
correct. And actually, the 1 bedroom we're in now, in my opinion, feels too small. So we will be looking in February for a much larger place where I have I can be spoiled a little bit. You guys, money goes so much further over there. It's insane. It blows me away. The place where I'm at, again, look back at my old videos. Maybe I'll post a link of one of my old videos so you guys can see it. Dude, I'm on the 20th floor. I have access to the rooftop pools, security 24/7.
Yeah.
Access to everything, and it's in a great area. So I'm actually paying a lot more than you typically would. It's because I'm in a top facility. So a Riviera Jomtien. There you go. You can look it up and kind of have an idea.
You said small.
Yes.
Once you get over here, I mean, you have to get acclimated to square meters pretty quickly.
Yeah,
because they won't. Yeah, they won't really know how to do the conversion to square feet, which of course we're used to. Certainly in the U.S., even in the UK, actually they use feet for that. But the point is that so we live in a 50 square meter 1 bedroom. Yours is 32.
I think 37.
37 square meters.
That. Yeah. Kitty's on, so if Kitty wants to answer that question, how big is our place? Maybe she'll be able to answer that.
That's one of those things that, like, as you're over here, you're going to start to, like, know certain things. Like, you're going to know what a good price for a taxi is, like 300 baht kind of thing, right? That's like, you're going to know the price of, like, decent street food, for one person under 100 baht easily for, a great meal on the street, 500 to 1,000, for a restaurant kind of thing. And you're going to start to know square footage. So you're going to be able to, like, get this feeling. Like, if someone says, oh, dude, I got this kick-ass 1 bedroom and it's 26 square meters, you're not going to need, forget it. It's going to have a queen-size bed and it's going to be, like, no room around it. It's going to be really tough.
Yeah.
King-size beds over here are less common. That's a requirement for me and Gracie because I like my space. Yeah. And we've done the queen-size bed thing, but I just prefer the king. Now, in California, I had a California king because I'm taller, but I really prefer the Eastern kings, which, of course, they have over here, which is, the full. Basically, it's a square.
However,
and they refer to those as 6 meters. Go ahead. Talk to me, buddy.
If I can live even one night in a van, I don't think bed size is going to matter for me.
By yourself.
By myself.
You're not living in a van with Kitty. I can live in a place all day long with a queen-size bed by myself.
Yeah.
But, it's nice to have, like, your own space. And so, and I know a lot of guys that have a king-size bed in the U.S. You don't have a king-size bed in your place?
On this stream. No, I do not. I, have a queen-size bed, and I sleep like a mummy. I'm, like, out, and that's it, man. I don't know if it's good for me. But so Rick says, so in a long-term lease, how long? Okay, I think we already answered that question. I have 10 months. You can get leases for 1 month, 6 months, and then 10 months. So
when we first moved to Guam, we had a 1 month lease. And and
I'm looking at doing more of that when I go to Koh Samui. I'm thinking about go on the Koh Samui, in which we will be filming live. And I'm going to do a 1 month lease over there. And
I was gonna say, if you think, oh yeah, well I'll just like do it, through Airbnb or whatever. Especially in Robbie's scenario, because when he comes back, he's going to be like hopping around, and he's basically going to be doing visa runs effectively. And one of the nice things about getting a 1 month lease, like from the thing or like from the property or whatever, you get a piece of paper. That piece of paper is actually really cool because with it, we only had a 1 month contract on our lease, but I was able to get my driver's licenses. I was able to get a residence permit from immigration.
Oh.
Yeah. And so you're thinking, oh, yeah, well, I'll just do Airbnb 30 days and I'll do that. Yeah, it could be easier. But the paperwork is actually something that's really important. It's kind of helpful. So that's an important safety tip.
So, Mike, when we go out to break, when we come back, can you talk about what you just said? 'Cause I know I have those questions, and I know several of these guys might have those questions about, will a 30-day lease can you get your driver's license? And because Kitty just got her driver's license, guys, so make sure you give her a round of applause. She just got it.
Yeah. Oh, I need a sound effect for applause.
I know. We need our sound effects, right, Mike? So we can do this.
I can do that all day long now that I flip my camera around.
So real quick, Kitty just left a message saying our current condo is 45 square meters.
Really?
That's what she says. To me, it seems kind of big. But you know what? Hey, I'll let her imagine big is totally fine. I mean, hey, if she thinks it's big, that's good. Now let's talk about the condo size.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think, that's interesting. I mean, because I would, I think it's smaller than that.
Yeah, I think it's like 37 or something like that. For some reason, I remember it being 37. And so when we come back from the break, definitely if you will talk about that, I would totally appreciate that, because I know I'm going to want some details about this 1 month. Can I have a 1 month? Can I get a driver's license on my visa? Do I need to have retirement visa? All these questions. I'm going to have a bunch of questions for you.
We'll get to it.
And I know these guys who are tuning in, all that stuff, they have those questions. And whenever you're ready to
That's
roll
great,
it,
dude. Yeah, guys, we'll take a break. We will come back and we'll talk even more. Please put your questions in the comments. We will absolutely get to it. And we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Right back.
Hey guys, this is Robbie from Walking in the Shoes. I'm with Kerwin GR Taxi Service in this luxury cab. Let's check. So there's her information. She does speak English, and this is a beautiful car. She provides drinks for you, wet nap, all leather seating, super comfortable, luggage area, plenty of room for you and your friends. And again, she does speak English. Just say one or two words. Hello.
Hi everybody, I'm Kerwin Taxi Service.
So guys, here is the cab I've taken. Very nice, brand new luxury vehicle. And price for this vehicle, for a luxury vehicle from Pattaya to the airport, you can get as low as 1,000 baht, but for luxury, you're gonna pay a little bit more for, up to 1,500 baht. Anyways, beautiful brand new car. There it is. Yep, beautiful car. Yes. So here's her information. So be sure to give her a call. She books through Facebook. I will also provide it in the links below. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in to The Spot, and let's get back to the show. Peace.
I gotta say, the transition right there, dude. We should totally.
There it is. Boom. We need to have sound effects.
I need some. I need to get myself a skadoosh. That and a rim shot, because all the comedy that you inject. I love it. Good dude. Yeah, break time. Time to assemble a free Goodwill grill. Thank you so much. Here's what I love, and I know you're getting this on your channel, is you get people that like watch your videos, and there's inside jokes now. Because I did this video and this freaking free grill that Gracie and I got, and how we assembled it, and then we went to break. So, yeah, absolutely. Wait, I got over.
You like
oh,
the
my
graphic?
God, ladies and gentlemen, it's Kitty. Is she going to come
Kitty.
on? I gave her the link in line if she's listening. Let's have her come on and talk about the rain because oh my God, of all the questions I've gotten since I've been back, oh my God, what's the rain like in Bangkok? Oh my God, how much flooding is there? And I'm like, well, if you watch CNN, constant negative news, FYI is what that company stands for, then yeah, there's going to be a flood. But there hasn't been anything since we got back. But yeah, where's Kitty?
If you're on, throw a message at us. People would love to say hi. You got some congratulations.
Yeah.
You got some feedback. I think this is awesome.
So Kitty, all you got to do, click on that link.
Click on that link, Kitty.
Let me
and just so you guys know, Kitty is my co-star on Walking in My Shoes Thailand YouTube channel. So again, Walking in My Shoes Thailand. And you'll see her in majority of the videos with me exploring Thailand, loving Thailand, and going from there. So if she's there, say something.
Joe, why do you got to torch me? How is the rain in Bangkok? It's rained for probably about 20 minutes in total since we got back here. There's been no flooding. And I just, I mean, again, yeah, there's flood. Look, September sucks, dude. Down in like basically Trot is the one province with Rayong and Koh Chang, the island of Koh Chang. I mean, they had one of their roads completely disintegrate. Last year, the flooding was bad. This year, it's really friggin' bad. And I mean, there's also a sinkhole down at the end of my street too, right? And it's what happens. I mean, it's just things break and then they get fixed. And I can tell you that look, here's the thing: don't listen to the goddamn news. Listen to Robbie and me. How's that? That should be. We should get
there you go.
Yes,
we are your new weekly news every morning, Saturday morning.
Dude.
We need a sound over for this. 8 o'clock Bangkok time.
8 o'clock
6 p.m.
Bangkok. Up top.
That's right. That's right. And then 6 p.m. Friday evening, every Friday at 6 p.m. here in California.
Yes, so indeed. One more time, dude. We got to perfect this.
Douche. Oh, we're getting good. Look at this.
Dude, I'm like lined up. It's like I'm a walking seam. Oh my God. That's a critical question, actually, right there. Wait, Robbie,
which one?
The one about the Phillips head screwdriver, for Christ's sake.
Oh, let's put it on. Let's get people to see it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Flathead Phillips. Dude, obviously, Phillips.
A flathead. Oh, no, a flathead, Mike.
Dude, how many times have you stripped the screw using a flathead? Like, especially with a... I mean, Phillips is like...
Yeah, but with the flathead, you can't unscrew a flathead with a Phillips, but you can unscrew a Phillips screw with a flathead.
Maybe.
Joe, come on, help me out, buddy.
It's
Am I right?
possible, but not
Joe, help me out.
Richard Martin.
Joe will help me
Thank you for your question. Remember how I told you guys some guy reached out to me and he's like, hey, so how do I do? Yeah. So good to see you, Richard. Thank you for coming by and thank you for taking advantage of my email inbox, sir. Everyone is available to do that. Please feel free. All right. So you wanted me to answer the question of...
Yes. Let's talk about that. Let me ask the questions. Here we go. I'm going to ask the questions.
Go, baby. Go.
All right. So a lot of you guys, listeners, are out there. I know on my channel, people follow me because they want to know, how do I get out there? What are some of the things I do? What to do to live out there? So here you go. You mentioned driver's license. Big thing for me is when I come out there, I want to be able to get a driver's license like Kitty did. But I do not live out there full time. I don't really have a residence because it's my condo is actually under Kitty's name. I love this. So 1 month. You mentioned 1 month, and only need a 1 month lease to get through to get my license.
Okay,
tell us.
so
I want to hear about your driver's license.
Let me back up and say, what do you do before you leave the United States?
Yes. Before.
Yeah. So the first thing, especially because of the way that we drive over here, meaning that you ride a motorbike, I highly encourage you to make sure you have the motorcycle endorsement on your driver's license, regardless of the state. In California, you'll have an M. Most of them will have that. And so that's there. And I actually did not have that. And I'm not a motorcycle guy, especially in California. There's no friggin' way you could pay me to get on the I-5 on a motorbike. It's just not happening. So I went through a motorcycle. So again, these are like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to Thailand like in two days. I'm like, no, prep, dude. Spend the time because you still got like basically a month and a half. And I took a motorcycle training class, which allowed me to take the driving test inside that motorcycle training class, not at the DMV. It's significantly more difficult at the DMV. The same goes for in Thailand.
Right.
You do not want to have to take the physical driving test at the land transport here in Thailand. You want to be able to show up with pieces of paper. So to do that, you're going to want to get a motorcycle endorsement on your driver's license in whatever state you're coming from in the U.S.
You know what's interesting, Mike?
Go ahead.
Well, real quick, because Kitty just got hers, and she went through a school, and I wish she could get on and tell us more about that. But I did talk to her every day about the process. It was a full day class where she drove around circles, and she was good. So
yes,
she said that most of the people were Falang, meaning they're foreigners taking that class. So do I really need a Class M motorcycle license?
Okay, so again, this is before you get there, okay?
Yes.
And this is why I'm instructing you to do this, because it's just simply simpler. In California, for example, and this is also kind of the way it is in other states in the United States, you go to AAA. AAA gives you an international driving permit. That international driving permit is good for 1 year, and they actually ask you, like, when do you want it to expire? We'll give it to you for 1 year, but they say, when do you want it to start? So you say, well, I'm leaving November 6th, November 7th, have it start then, and then it's good for 1 year. With the international driving, first of all, there's no such thing as an international driving license, especially from the U.S. There's an international driving permit that attached to your valid driver's license, and it'll also have the classification of your driver's license, allows you to walk into land transport in Thailand, pay your money, fill out the paperwork, watch a silly video, and basically you will have your driver's license that afternoon, okay? If you don't have that, then you have to go through the test, and you can absolutely go through a company to do it. You can also like pay a service to basically go there and do it for you, not in Bangkok, but in the smaller communities where the land transport office is a little bit less rigid. So then you do, and what happens as a foreigner is the first license you get, and this may be true for Thais too, but the first license you get will be a 2-year temporary driver's license. You have that for 2 years, and then you go back, right before it's going to expire in 2 years, and you renew it. And all you do to renew it is basically you sit down in this the contraption that you sat in initially, and then basically you have a brake pedal and an accelerator pedal. You press the accelerator pedal and the light comes on, and then all of a sudden a red light comes on and you're supposed to hit the brake pedal. So they're testing your reflexes. And then they additionally want you to look up at a circle that's got 3 colors of circles in it, and they point to 3 of them, and they want you to differentiate between red, yellow, and green. And then you give them like 300, 400, or 500 baht, whatever it is, and they give you new licenses, which are then good for 5 years. Okay. Now,
I think Kitty paid a couple thousand.
That included other things then, because the actual driver's license that you get is not that much.
Gotcha.
Whether the original or on the renewal, she probably paid for the class of some kind.
Yes, she paid for a class.
Yeah,
that I know, because I asked her about that.
When I went there, I sat in a room with a whole bunch of other Thais, and they bring up this driving safety video that is from YouTube. And you know how in YouTube you can see the progress, right? So this is a 2-hour video that they play in a room for all Thais and the foreigners. It's only in Thai. There are no English captions. They played it for approximately 45, 50 minutes. And then the guy came in and he says, all right, come on, let's go. And everyone left and the video is still playing. And then we stood in line and each of us did the reaction test, which again is accelerator brake. And what's interesting is even if you're getting your motorcycle driver's license, you still do the foot accelerator, foot brake. There's no like test of, good for, thank you for that. I forgot you're excellent at that. And then they make sure you're not colorblind. And then you sit down there and then like literally guys, within like 15 or 20 minutes, they print both of them because they have the machine that prints the cards and you walk out of there with your driver's license. It's none of this like, oh yeah, wait 2 weeks for it to come in the mail nonsense that happens in California or Massachusetts.
Kitty did have to wait. Kitty did have to wait.
How long?
She only waited, I want to say a day or two.
What?
To get what you just held up. So she just responded. She studied in a specialized motorcycle driving school. So there you
Yep,
go.
15 hours, so a couple days probably.
Yeah, and again, she didn't have anything. So I'm wondering, can I do that on my regular driver's license and not have to get the Class M or whatever it is here?
Okay, so here's the Class M is only if you want to basically have a motorcycle driving license, because they're two. They don't have like an endorsement. There's a motorcycle driver's license, and then there's a car driver's license, and then it would be a third one if you wanted to like do commercial trucking. So you don't have to do that. But like she said, she took the exam on the computer. It's not in English. Well, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They have a version. It's in English. The translation is 10 times worse than you and I would come up with using Google Translate. Meaning the questions are so incorrect in English that even the answer that makes sense in English is not the right answer. So that's why I'm saying do all this shit before you get there. So all you got to do is walk in the door, give them your international driving. But additionally, don't forget, if you come over here with a valid U.S. driver's license and you're coming over here in November and you're cruising back in less than a year, you don't need a Thai driver's license. Okay.
Yeah.
Just your international driving permit is valid for 1 year. Just use that. Then when you cruise home, go over to AAA, give them another $15, and they'll give you another one for a year before you come back here next time.
Kitty did mention to me that during her class that she helped them translate, which has been great. Which is going to be another topic we should talk about.
Yeah.
Her English has just improved dramatically.
It's fantastic.
But she actually ended up assisting the class or the instructor in some phalangs speaking Thai and English, and that's pretty rad. So
the English of it is not, it's not like in California where I think you can take the driving exam in 7 different languages. I believe it's obviously Spanish, right? But also Tagalog for the Filipinos. It's certainly not available in Thai, as far as I know. But like Vietnamese, Mandarin, and a couple others. So anyway, do as much as you can before you leave the U.S., guys. It simplifies your.
It is simpler for sure. So here's Rick saying, I was scared to death one night in Pattaya, riding on the back of a motorbike with some girl I met. I got to tell you, Rick, I'm right there with you because I was there 2019 and I got pulled over 3 times riding on the back of a motorbike. 2 times I had to pay the darn $200, without a helmet. Yeah. And my last ride on there before I went and got a helmet, I was scared shitless because this truck came right on Sukhumvit, right? Sukhumvit Road.
You were on Sukhumvit in Pattaya?
Yes. And
that's
this
insane.
big old truck by the night market jammed in. Scared the living daylights out of me.
No, Sukhumvit is
right there.
Yeah, no, that is, I mean, the street, Beach Road and like the side streets going from Jomtien. Like you met me in Pattaya, right? The first time we like hung out down there at the Starbucks.
Well,
and you cruised over on your motorbike. That was no big deal. But dude,
I rent one now.
Do not drive a motorbike on Sukhumvit in Bangkok, let alone Pattaya. They're both dangerous.
Yeah, this is Pattaya. But I do rent a motorbike now.
Well, yeah, sure.
I drive it everywhere. There's not a place I don't drive it. But I've driven motorcycles for a long time. I do not have a motorcycle license anymore in the United States. So when I did get pulled over this last time, they did check my permit.
Yep.
They checked the registration, all that stuff, and I was good to go.
So I will tell you,
lucky.
Depending upon, there's the luck part too, but also where you live and what AAA office you go to get an international driving permit. I have absolutely gotten an international driving permit in San Diego, which is a pretty big metropolis. It's probably a little easier at the AAA in Pismo Beach by the person saying, oh, and I said, oh, yeah, and I want the motorcycle. And they didn't check to see if my California driver's license had the M on it. So therefore, I had an international driving permit that did have a motorcycle endorsement, which, again, is not completely the way it's supposed to be done, but totally possible. The bottom line, too, to realize is that Thailand is maturing, which also means it's getting a little bit more bureaucratic. The fine for not wearing a helmet now is higher than it used to be. The fine for not having a valid license, not necessarily a Thai one, but a valid international ability to drive, certainly a motorbike, certainly a car over here, the Thais have realized that there's enough friggin' YouTube videos out there for people to know what to have to come over here, right? So in other words, if you all of a sudden you go to a temple, you take your shoes off, you throw your feet facing the Buddha in the front, they just look at you and they're like, dude, how many videos have people done about the appropriate way to act in Thailand? You don't stick your feet up towards it. It's totally inappropriate. You don't take your shirt off in the middle of a friggin', there's just certain social norms over here that are so painfully obvious and so easy to get educated on that they're like, look, we're going to do this. They're also trying to make it a little safer because, they took a lot of shit when people are like, look, why am I wearing a mask? More people die on the goddamn roads on Songkran from drunk drivers, The fine for drunk driving now is significant. It's up to a year in jail. You do not want to spend 1 hour, minute in a Thai jail. So the funny thing is again, these fines are designed primarily for the Thai people. So it's $20,000. Sorry, it's 20,000 baht, or a year in jail. I would pay the judge 200,000 baht had I ever get caught drunk driving to not go to a Thai jail. And if you wonder why I'm so adamant about this, watch the movie A Prayer Before Dawn.
That's right.
And you will know you're hitting it. Why you do not want to be in a Thai prison. But the point is that these and they're doing this more. And they also realize that, like, look, dude, the foreigners can bitch all day long about how, they're going to get fined or whatever. But global and their act together, because so many people were dying on the roads of motorbike accidents in Phuket. And that is not the place they want less tourists. So, they realize that there's some saving face in that behavior too.
So I just had to look this up, and I saw this on Thai News. So I'm going to read this to you guys. Thai News. And
you want to share the screen?
September 4th.
You want to share the article?
No, it's a different computer here.
All good.
So it says September 4th, 2022, a fine up to 2,000 baht for driving against traffic or not wearing a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Or up to 1 year in prison.
More. 2,000 baht.
Significantly more.
For driving
now,
the wrong way.
I don't know where that other article is where the helmet, they said it's still 300 baht if you don't have it on. But to see this on Thai News right now at 2,000 baht on September 4th, and which is immediately, it's in effect immediately. So interesting that, we're talking about that, and I did see this this on there. So that's a big hefty fine. 2,000 is not.
No, it's not. And to be fair, I mean, I'm grateful that it was. I was having this discussion with my dad, or maybe I couldn't remember. Anyway, when I was a kid, and you got a speeding ticket, it was $50. And the speed limit on the roads basically back when it was 55 miles an hour, and you could be going 56 miles an hour up to 99 miles an hour, and it was still $50 for the ticket, and it didn't go against your driving record, much like that's right. So I remember getting my third ticket as my dad is handing me a check for $50. And he's like, why are you doing? I said, Dad, it's either 56 miles an hour or 99. Obviously, I'm going to go 98 miles an hour, pay the $50. My point is that if the fine isn't significantly enough to deter the behavior, then, it's not really worth it. So I'm actually quite pleased, because I will tell you that while it is kind of neat and maybe a little bit nostalgic to drive around without a helmet, fall off a motorbike at 5 miles an hour without a helmet, and then talk to me about how many more helmets you're going to buy. Because I can drive 60 miles an hour into a telephone pole in an automobile.
Yeah.
And that airbag, and my shoulder's going to hurt. I could walk away from that friggin' thing, hand the keys to my insurance company, buy another BMW, and pick Robbie up at the airport. But motorbikes, guys,
you're dead. You're gone. Yeah, I like this right here. Check out this comment. Imagine if you're riding without a helmet while vaping.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know why he's saying
crazy.
That.
Wear a helmet. Wear a helmet.
But Joe, do you know why he's saying that?
Comment. No, I do not.
You know why he's saying that about vaping? Vaping is highly illegal in Thailand.
Really?
Yes. It's illegal to vape. They say it on the plane. They tell you to not bring. You can bring up to like 200 cigarettes, right? And all that. You can't.
Okay.
But here's the thing: there's stores that sell this stuff. Okay, and there was a guy down the street the other day as I was buying it.
Hey, did we just lose Mike? I think we just lost his audio.
Oh my God.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is gonna
Hey,
piss.
Joe, while Mike is trying to fix that, I want to say thanks for putting that don't drink and drive. I strongly appreciate that comment. And I believe you're right. Effective November 1st is that that new fine is effective November 1st. Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah, I there you
Thank
go.
you for
We're
your
back
patience.
with you.
Thank you for your
back
patience.
with you.
But to the whole vaping thing and like how it's not enforced, that sort of thing. Vaping's one thing. So there are dispensaries for marijuana all over the place right now.
I think we should
they
talk
are popping
about this.
up like crazy. I will just say this. Do not bring marijuana into Thailand thinking, oh, it's legal to do. No.
Yeah, do not.
Do not smoke it outdoors. No. Having a joint with a Thai guy. He's not going to jail. Okay?
You are.
Because wouldn't they love for the international press to see how hard Thailand is on people who think they can do drugs I mean, it would be a huge win for them because they can be like, oh, you thought Singapore was tough. Good. You can buy it over here, okay? And you can do it. But again, just like I say to most guys, they're like, oh my God, how do I do this? How do I meet a good girl? How do I find a bottom line? Don't be an idiot. Just don't be an idiot.
And you're ready to meet a girl. We're going to talk about that coming up on one of our shows. What do you think?
Yeah.
We've
hit enough topics in this, but I did see it at one of the comments about girls and stuff. But yeah, I mean, guys, you just got to 5% of my soul. Indeed. Just don't, just because it's available and you can literally walk across the street from a 7-Eleven and buy some pot brownies or gummy bears that actually, a soak, right? You know how you come down off the BTS and you go down the street? They hand out free gummies on the street.
Really?
Yeah. No, I mean,
free.
Because here's the thing. It's completely unregulated, okay? So the amount of THC that's in there, CBD,
Nothing.
It's not regulated. It can be anything. So, and that really bothers me. I mean, I get it. I'm old and I'm getting, and I'm also sober, right? So it's like you're so fucking biased, Mike. But here's the thing. Kids like gummy bears, okay? So
I like gummies, dude. Come on.
No, you're an adult, okay? But if a kid is walking down the street and he sees a whole bunch of big kids having, I mean, again, there's
gummies.
You're supposed to be over 20 to go into these stores, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to card people.
You're supposed to be over 20 to buy this in Thailand?
Yeah, at the dispensary.
Because the reason why I say it I'm shocked like that is last month when I was there, Kitty and I are walking along Beach Road in Jomtien, and there were several places that you could just buy right outside of the restaurant or cafe.
Sure.
I mean, because I bought a 10, 100 baht, and I got a 10 of, I want to say 7 or 8 gummies.
Yep.
Because I like it to go to sleep. And of course, I did take one, and it did absolutely nothing for me. So,
of course, because you bought it on the street. It's like buying Viagra on the street in friggin' Bangkok. It's aspirin.
But it was out of a store. I mean, it had to be refrigerated, which I didn't understand that. Okay, so Mike, I do like this. So this is going to be a topic. I think we're gonna document this. How about a video on how to meet a nice bar girl without Bible? Rick, I have a feeling you don't buy too many drinks. Are you a cheap Charlie, Rick? Can you tell me?
Here's the thing. First of all, nice bar girl. That is
nice bar girl. Loyal? No. Nice.
I mean, here's the thing, dude. That's like saying, how do you meet an actor? I mean, they're going to be nice
at Walmart.
To you. Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing. Without buying her multiple drinks, it's easy. Walk in, sit down, have one drink. If you dislike her, leave or move on to the next one. Don't feel obligated. Don't go in there with a guilt trip. Have some friggin' self-esteem and some stones and be like, you're in charge. So that's how you...
Why don't you go to Club Obsession. How about that? Give that a whirl. Super nice. Rick, and I only had to buy one drink and all the girls were all over the place. I'm like, this is great. All this attention.
Girls. Nice. Well, you answered your own question, Rick. Nice. Indeed. Now I understand what you're saying though. The short answer is be in charge. Don't be one of these people, guys, whatever, that comes over here and falls into the behavior that you have to engage in the United States.
Yeah.
Which is
I
you
love
need
the
to be
advice
subservient.
from Joe. I love this advice.
Yeah.
I'm sure Rick appreciates that carefully.
Indeed. I love this one too. Soapy all day. You guys want to, you know what a soapy is, right?
Do I know what a soapy is?
Yeah.
Yes. And
Okay.
I know all about a soapy, but I haven't really been into one.
Guys, do it. I mean, look, if you're over here and you're carrying a committed
right?
relationship, I'm not interested in you
Yeah, I
cheat on
haven't
your
done it.
partner. That's friggin' ridiculous. But you absolutely have to try it because it is not. There are some things that are nothing like anywhere else in the world that exist in Thailand. One of them is pattaya. There is
And
no.
you have to get the pattaya out of you, right?
Yeah, get the pattaya out of your system. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, if that's what you want to do. I mean, if you're sitting there going, "Oh, hey, Mike, hey, Robbie, how do I meet a really good girl like Gracie and get married and have an honest relationship? How do I meet someone like Kitty, who, when I leave the country for 6 months, is actually going to take care of my shit and like plan for our future while I'm gone?" Okay, so that's the thing. But yeah, club. If you guys don't know, Club Obsession is in Nana Plaza, and it's a ladyboy bar. and I love ladyboys. I think they are hilarious. Gracie thinks they're hilarious. They play pool like nobody's business, and some of them are so ridiculously over the top feminine. It is hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. So that's what Club Obsession is. But this is the best. Next to like, don't be an idiot. This is the next best piece of advice. Do not fall in love in 20 minutes. And that's part of getting the pattaya out of your system because you're going to come over here and then Joe, I know you're full of shit. You totally know what a soapy is. I know and you know that I'm faithfully married to Gracie and I love her too. So I'm not going to go into details. Short answer is,
wait, you're not going into details.
Inflatable raft, jacuzzi, bed, 2 hours all day long.
So could you tell us about this inflatable raft? I think my viewers want to know. Kitty, do you want to know what a soapy is?
Look, you go into these places, okay, and if you've ever heard the term fishbowl, that refers to you sitting on a seat, and basically there's not usually glass anymore, but there used to, historically, there was like this the big thing of glass. Behind the glass on levels were girls sitting up there, and they each have a number, okay, and you sit there and you pick.
Yes.
Based on their looks. And of course, they have light that makes them look really good there, which is why, if you're smart, you're like, well, let me just talk to them first before we go have our fun. And then you basically go upstairs. And the reason it's called a soapy massage is because instead of laying on a bed, you lay on an inflatable raft and they have a giant bucket full of soap, basically soapy water. And they pour that all over you, and it's warm, and you cruise around with them. And it's it's well known. Just all you got to do is Google soapy. Don't do it at work. It's an interesting experience for sure. Much like a bunch of other things.
I haven't done one, and I haven't done a soapy. And I was told by a buddy of mine, get that out of your system. But
who was that?
Yeah, I know. Bradley.
He's the one who told you that.
I name dropped him, and he might be watching this. He's like, "Oh, you got to get it out. Just do it." And I met Kitty, so
and
I don't
here's
think
the thing:
she'd appreciate that much. And
again, it's one of the. So here's what I will get us something. Rick, totally go for it. I can tell you there are some really, really famous bars that are known the world over that are soapies, and not the least of which is. Oh God, I just forgot the name. No, that's not right. Not Madam Chow's. Susie Wong's.
Susie Wong.
Susie Wong's is actually just started in Bangkok, isn't it? But the ones that you'll see like in Pattaya and Phuket and that sort of thing, they're basically just go-go bars. Yeah. But anyway, I don't want to get too in depth about that because one could argue that is something that you and I should probably do on like a subscribers only video, not necessarily a public, right? YouTube one. And additionally, if you guys want to have I have no judgment. I was talking with this guy and he he changed. It was just him and I on this conference call. He changed the pitch of his voice and he goes, Mike, when I get over there, I really want to meet some girls. And I'm like, awesome. I said, I'm bummed that you don't know me well enough to think that I'm going to judge you or that don't be embarrassed about that, dude. You know, and that's the thing. I mean, look at Robbie's girlfriend. There are many bars in Pattaya to choose from.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different paradigm over here, dude. You're not a sleazy dude in a back alley slamming dope into your arm, picking up a hooker.
Yeah.
It's
not like that at all.
It's
That's
not like
what
that.
this. That's, and matter of fact, we don't condone it nor want that. I mean, that's not the life over here.
No.
You know, sex pats. That's not the deal. I'm not saying there isn't bad people in Pattaya who just go for that, but I mean, Thailand's open about some stuff, and as a single guy, it's a good place to go and meet people.
It's interesting. I mean, there are a lot of guys that aren't necessarily sex pats. That's the thing that kind of bothers me. And then you get the trolls that follow them on the YouTube channel. They call them a sex pat, and it's completely false. But there are guys that are sex pats. Well, look, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, if anything else, all it does is it makes me look like a fucking prince. And you know, but you know, Robbie brings up a good point, and I was actually talking with him about this earlier. We're at about an hour and 26 minutes in. We usually go for about an hour and a half. I really want to thank all the guys that have come by and stuck in. We had a lot more interaction in the chat today. I really appreciate that. Robbie does a great job of holding me accountable, because if you guys have watched any of my live streams, you know how I like to go on and on and on and on. And so that's good that he's, you know, bringing your chats in, and we're remaining sort of, you know, current, right? The final thing I will say is that if we didn't get to any of your comments today, please email either of us. You know, you may resonate with one of us more than the other. My email is down there, Mike's at bkk.fm. walkinginmyshoes2020@gmail.com is Robbie. You can also reach us at Mike's at thespot.fm, Robbie at thespot.fm. That's obviously the brand that we're going to be going for with this.
And
but other than that,
tune in every week. I mean, let's talk about the new time slot. Let's talk about that real quick.
So it is 8 a.m. Bangkok time, which we've changed to basically based on the comments from you guys, not the least of which is Joe is like, dude, I need to take care of my grandson when you're doing it at 9 a.m. East Coast time. That's not working for me. I'm very busy. I want to have Joe on here. I also want to have Rick Smith on here. So I really appreciate you guys coming by. Kitty, it's like, you know, the morning time for her. So that's easy too. But we're going to be doing this 8 a.m. Bangkok time because when Robbie gets over here, and it is 8 a.m. Bangkok time for both of us, the bald boys of Boston, no, the bald boys of Bangkok, rather, I apologize. Also, I'm going to change it. I'm going to be AMAZEbald. Dude, we should totally be AMAZEbald. High five me on AMAZEbald.
There you go. Boom.
Skadoosh. So 8 a.m. Bangkok time.
The name, the brand name, are we talking about that yet? Are we?
Well, no, not yet, but I just kind of threw up there this morning, which is the Big Mango morning mattress. A little bit too long. I think I like Big Mango, but again, we're not necessarily going to be doing this just from Bangkok. I'm in Bangkok right now. So I don't know. Big Mango morning mattress. We'll throw that out there. We may be changing it. I think 8 o'clock a.m. Bangkok Saturday. Mornings,
and
8 a.m.
6 p.m. Western, 6 p.m. Pacific time, United States, for all of our people who really want to be here and learn. This is a channel for not only learning, having a good time, ask your questions. We're not going to hold back, man. If we got to drop some words, we're going to.
But, I know. My mom reminds me that I need to watch my language. So I'm sorry about the F-bombs today, guys. I hope we didn't lose any people because of that. But yeah, absolutely, Mariano. Next week, we'll talk about the bum gun. In fact, Robbie will show you precisely how to do it with a video that's probably coming out on his channel, along with his wonderful, world-renowned videos. Yes, Joe, you're correct. Soy Ladyboy for Robbie.
Soy Ladyboy, my most famous video. Thanks for watching that over and over, Joe. I appreciate it.
Thanks for all the thumbs up, Joe.
I think that's a great way to end our show today with Joe admiring my Ladyboy videos.
Yes,
that's
absolutely. Sweet. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. We really appreciate it. We have a lot of fun doing this. We want to continue it. And indeed, we love you guys. And we hope you're living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, you're doing it wrong. And
live your best life, because, again, if you're not, you're just not living.
Up top. Here we go. Come on.
Skadoosh.
There you go, Christy.